Hello and namaste, my name is Nidhi Nagori and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm talking about 11 pathways to move to Canada. I know very well that I only have 10 fingers, but I'm still talking about 10 plus 1, 11 total pathways of moving to Canada. So if you're harboring some dreams for the Great North, Canada, then this video is for you. Stick around. Start this video off with a lot of honesty. When I moved to Canada, or actually when I started planning to move to Canada, I thought that there is only one pathway, which is a permit, work permit या फिर student permit. Then I got to know that there is express entry, permanent residency. Now, if you haven't seen my video on permanent residency, I'm going to link it up right here. It actually went up just this week. So if you want to go and do a quick rewind, that's also an option. But in short, that's the pathway that I followed, permanent residency, which is called express entry. Once I moved to Canada and once I settled in, it's only after that I realized that there are multiple pathways to actually make a move to Canada, and express entry is just one of them. So in today's video, let's talk about some of them. First one that I have up on my list is express entry. This is the one that gives you the permanent residency. I've already explained permanent residency in my last video. So if you want to play a little bit of catch up here, make sure you do that. But that is the pathway that I followed, and I feel like that is the pathway that most people that I know want to follow. It's also the most advertised pathway, I feel, because once you start living in India or once you start thinking of Canada, once you go to any agent, this is the first pathway that they talk about. Now, Canada has always been an immigrant-friendly country, but express entry was something that has only come about 6 to 7 years ago, which is why it created a lot of ruffles in the immigration feathers. Canada intends to take on 1 million immigrants in the next 3 years, a lot of which are expected to come through people who are already in Canada, which is people who were here on student permits or work permits, and through express entry and these other 10 pathways that we're going to discuss today. The application process for express entry is again very simple. Last video had that covered in detail, so if you want to go check that out, make sure you do that. The second pathway that I have is provincial PR. So Canada as a country gives out permanent residency, which is through step number 1, which is express entry. But if you don't have enough points and you still want to move, then one of the options that I suggest, and something that I know a lot of people have tried, is the provincial PR. So Canada as a country gives out a PR in express entry, but all individual provinces of Canada also give out their own PRs. If you're wondering what a province is, it's just the simple equivalent of state. So I live in Toronto, which is the province of Ontario. So the province of Ontario or New Brunswick, Alberta, British Columbia, all of these give out their own PRs. With lower scores, you may not get a Canada PR, which is an express entry, but you definitely stand a good chance to get a provincial PR, which is a permanent residency of any other province in Canada. The difference between a provincial PR and an express entry PR is that the provincial PR is only for that province. You have to spend some amount of time in that province before you can graduate and before you can move on to becoming a Canadian PR. I'm not sure what the exact timing is because each province gets to create their own rules around it. But if you want to read up about this in details, you can do that on the Canadian immigration website, which is cic.gc.ca. I personally did not apply for a provincial PR because I was the express entry candidate, but from my understanding, you have to be in the pool for express entry to be eligible to apply for a provincial PR. Like I said, the chances of getting a provincial PR are definitely higher than express entry, which is a Canada PR. The third pathway, which a lot of us already know about, is study permit with a work permit. So you can move to Canada as a student. As you may be well aware, you also get a work permit, which can be part-time or full-time depending on the timing of the year or your course schedule. So you can move here as a student and you can get a work permit that can allow you to work part-time. You can also work full-time, especially in the breaks. So spring break, summer break, winter break, these are the time periods that you can work full-time in. A special note to you, which I did not know of, is that minors, which is people below 18, can move to Canada on a study permit and they can go to school here. And public schools in Canada are free. So you can literally move to go to a public school here for free. The fourth PR, which is probably created as a necessity after the pandemic devastation that happened, is the healthcare PR. Now, this is not just for doctors and nurses, but it is for the entire healthcare industry. So if you do any work that relates to the healthcare industry, then this is a pathway that you can follow. I know 2 people who recently came on this particular pathway. And from my understanding, the processing times for a healthcare PR is fairly quick because currently the demand for healthcare professionals, again, not just limited to doctors and nurses, is high in Canada. So you could be a technician, you could be a pharmacist, you could do anything related to mental health, social care workers, third-party support workers, etc., etc. The list is pretty long, but as long as you are somebody who contributes to the healthcare sector, you can definitely apply for the healthcare PR. The fifth pathway is the startup pathway. This is especially for entrepreneurs who want to move and start their own organization, their own entrepreneurship journey. What I love about Canada is that the banks here are extremely invested in new investors. So if you're moving here to be an entrepreneur, you can get this startup pathway. You can move here and you will get a lot of support from the bank and the governments to start your startup. Toronto as a city is rated to be one of the best places to actually start a startup in the entire world. So if you're harboring some entrepreneurial dreams, you know that startup pathway could be a potential pathway for you. The next pathway, which is the sixth pathway, is the agri-food pathway. Agriculture is a big part of our lives, just in general, whichever civilization and country we come from. Agriculture is a huge part because it really determines what we eat and what we consume. Canada has always been interested in agricultural reforms and agricultural innovations. And if you have a background in agriculture, or if you are interested in doing something in agriculture, that could be any kind of innovation or working in it, or maybe starting your own little farm in Canada, that's also possible under the agri-food program. So to all the agricultural lovers, this could be a potential pathway for you. The next pathway, which is the seventh pathway, is the caregiver pathway. If you're somebody who can move and take care of the elderly people here, if you're somebody who can provide support and care, then there's a special pathway for you. I know for a fact that a lot of people from the Middle East, especially refugees and people who had been working in construction, labor, etc., manual workers basically, have been considering moving on this pathway, and there's been an influx in Canada on this pathway, and there's been an influx in Canada of these caregivers. This particular field is exponentially growing in Canada because the population is aging, which means the demand for such people, the demand for these caregivers is only increasing. If you're somebody who's trained to do so, or if you're somebody who can learn all these, then you can quickly apply through this pathway and immigrate to Canada. The next pathway is pathway number 8, which is family sponsorships. If you have close family living in Canada, which is sibling or parents, then they can sponsor you to immigrate to Canada permanently. What I like about Canada is that they do not necessarily have to be Canadian citizens, even if they are Canadian permanent residents, and if they file 3 years of taxes, which means they've had income in Canada and they've paid taxes in Canada for 3 years, they are eligible to sponsor you. But the only caveat is that it has to be immediate family, which is siblings or parents. It cannot be parents-in-law or grandparents-in-law, and it cannot be siblings-in-law. So, for example, I cannot sponsor my brother-in-law, but my husband can sponsor his brother. The good thing is that on family sponsorships, people get PRs. So whoever you sponsor gets their PR, which is permanent residence. So if you get sponsored by your sibling or your parent in Canada, then you actually get a permanent residency, which means all the rights of the citizens except voting. So you can move to Canada, live, work, do whatever you want, still get your healthcare covered, still get all the benefits from the government that a PR gets. The next pathway, which is the 9th pathway, and I'm trying to right now pull up my fingers, but I'm clearly losing track of time and fingers at this point. This pathway is the cultural and athletics pathway. So this is for people who are more into sports, music, arts, literature. If you are a creatively oriented person, then this is a pathway you should consider. I have to say, I did not even know that there's a potential pathway for people who are creative or are creatively inclined or are in the creative fields. If you remember, I was talking about a cultural program that I went to at the beginning of this video. In that cultural program, I'd actually met 2 people who had moved on this particular pathway. They were both Kathak dancers and they moved to Canada on the cultural pathway. That's how I got to know that this pathway also exists. So if you're somebody who's into dance, music, literature, art, all of that, then this is a pathway you should consider. The next pathway, which is the 10th pathway, right now my fingers are also covering the entire screen. These pathways are called AIPP and RNIP. AIPP is Atlantic Immigration Pilot Program and RNIP is Rural Northern Immigration Program. So these are basically small communities. AIPP is Atlantic, which is the eastern side of Canada, and RNIP is about some 11 smaller communities within Canada that have decided that they do not have immigrants or they do not have enough immigrants to support the people living in those communities. So they have come up with their own immigration program. What I love about these immigration programs is that you can apply for jobs sitting in your home country. So you don't have to do anything. You just go on their website, look at the jobs that are available and apply to those jobs. You can also do the interview from your home country. You don't have to be in Canada. You don't have to start your application, none of it. Once you get the job, after that, you can complete your application and move. I also made a few reels on this on Instagram if you're interested in checking them out. that talks about these policies in details. I know some people who moved on AIPP. I've only read in news about RNIP. I know a lot of people from Philippines have been moving on the RNIP program. I actually got to know of these programs because these programs were being heavily advertised in Canada itself. And I'm not joking here. I was literally getting advertisements on Instagram about these programs because these programs find it difficult to hire good people. So if you are interested in working in a small but tight community, then AIPP or RNIP is something you should totally check out. The last pathway and the 11th pathway, and I completely don't have an extra finger to show that, is the refugee or asylum pathway. I'm sure you guys have already been following news and you're probably noticing how a lot of people from Middle East, especially Syria, war-torn areas, or Afghanistan have been applying for the refugee or asylum status, even from Hong Kong currently in Canada. So this pathway of the asylum or refugee is for people who feel unsafe in their current habitat or in their current country, wherever they may be, and is only meant to be applied for by them. And on that note, we've come to an end of this video. Can you imagine 11 total pathways to move to Canada? And I've not even spoken about the work permit because I think everyone knows that you can move on a work permit. If you want to know anything more about these pathways, then I recommend you check out the Canadian immigration website. I'm going to leave either a link in the description box or I'll add a screenshot right here for you guys to check it out. Also, I've covered a lot of these on my Instagram reels, so if you want to go and check out and get more details, maybe quicker and faster, and you don't want to read through the website, consider doing that as well. I'll make sure to leave the links in the description box below for you. Also, I hope that this video has helped you and it has got you a little closer to your Canadian dream or your dreams in North America. If this video has helped you, don't forget to hit on the like button and subscribe to the channel. I promise to see you in the next video. Until then, make sure you take care of yourself. Stay safe. Namaste.